The early season pre-spawn movement of crappies into the shallows is highly anticipated by many anglers, and for good reason. Under ideal conditions, large schools of crappies will concentrate in relatively small areas. But as every angler knows, spring weather can be fickle. Those ideal conditions one day can turn cold and windy in a heartbeat. And those hordes of shallow water crappies, well, they can disappear just as fast. When a cold front hits, they'll often vacate the shallows, waiting for those optimum conditions to return. You could also wait for their return, or with the aid of modern electronics, you can seek them out of their hiding places where few others can find them.
So what we're doing here is I'm just driving around using my side imaging, looking left and right 50 feet. Like, that's the key. You never want to look too far out to where your image gets, too small to see. And that's it. I find 50 feet and like 14 to 5 feet is like perfect. And all I'm doing is looking for fish first, structure second. So anytime you see a shadow or multiple shadows, you can kind of figure that it's a fish. See, right here is what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I cursor over and blow that up, that shows you exactly what I'm talking about. That's a fish, that's a shadow, that's a fish, that's a shadow, that's a fish that's facing towards me. So it just looks like a kernel, and that's his shadow. So right there, 1, 2, 3, those are fish. So now I know that, okay, those fish are there. I'm gonna put a button on them. I'm gonna mark it. You see that showed up right there? And now I can come back to those fish. We can pitch bobbers on them and hopefully catch them. But that's what you're looking for when you're seeking out panfish during the early season and late season. Actually, pretty much all season. And you can see I got a couple more in there as well. Little things that look like grain or ice and the shadows behind you. With that separation in between these two, that tells you it's a fish. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 9 and 10 in that school. So all I did, hit my mark button, dropped an icon right there, waypoint right there. Now I'm gonna exit out, right? See that? That's that school of fish continuing to go behind me. That'll give you kind of a visual reference point on what crappies and panfish look like on your side imaging hummingbird units. And what we found today is it's a little windy, it's a little choppy, but we're fine. It's better to fish out of the back of the boat. Use the the Altair, pin down, spot lock, just 30 to 50 feet off those pods of fish. Me and you're out the back of the boat, and it just keeps the front like a stern,
Right.
It keeps us locked in on them.
I love side imaging. I use it a fair amount, but it's neat to see how you, a guide, you're using this stuff daily, finds chunks of structure and cover like you just did.
Those lines, those little things that look like rice, those little shadows, those are fish.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing, the technology today to actually be able to fish semi like a video game almost.
Right. Well, they're not liars. These are real fish. We are catching them right now, That one gave me a heads up.
He gave you a double bump.
Yeah, he came in and just tickled it a little bit too. He is on the surface. I'm just gonna do the flip trick on him.
The flip trick. Ooh,
hey,
there you go.
He stayed with me. Doesn't always work, especially as you get to nicer crappies like these. My dad was really good at losing fish boat side.
So, girl.
Oh, scoop!
Yes. It's an awesome fish. What a fun day. We come out here under less than ideal conditions.
Yep. Finding the fish, casting those bobbers and watching them dunk, it's just been a treat all day.
I had fun today showing people what it's really like to catch fish like this under less than ideal conditions. It makes you a better angler.
Absolutely.